Everyone, it is Monday and I think I'm going to make some macaroni and cheese. Well, I am going to make some macaroni and cheese. I just got this hidden veggie penne pasta. They're the small penne, but we won't tell the boys that it's hidden veggie because they'll never know. I have one 8-ounce block of cream cheese. I just cut it up and then stuck it in the microwave for about 40 seconds to soften it. And then I think I'm going to use this, it says it's 7 ounces of cream, I can't even think right now, sharp white cheddar cheese, and I got it on clearance after coupons and everything. It was 80 cents, so I wanted to find something to use it for. My son's been snacking on the other one that I got, but so I got my oil and salt in my pan, and it is on high to get the water going. So I'm just going to pour my cream cheese in. This is on a little bit less than 5. I'm going to keep it on low so that the cream cheese doesn't burn. So I'm just going to let this melt down and then add my cheese. And then if it's too thick, I can always add milk at the end, but I saw somebody else make a macaroni and cheese like this with the cream cheese as the base instead of making a roux with the flour and butter. So I just wanted to give this a try to kind of help not using so much flour and butter and stuff. So I'm going to give this a try, and then when it's all done, when the noodles are done and the sauce is done, I'm just going to stick it in my crock pot, and so it'll be ready for dinner tonight. And then I can freeze whatever is left over so we can have it with another meal. I think I'm going to make sloppy joes or maybe some Italian sausage. I haven't decided that far yet. So, and then I have some green beans I need to use up, so I'm going to cook those up tonight. I think it was either last week or the week before I made the green beans, and they turned out really good using the Pioneer Woman's recipe. So I'm going to melt this down and add the cheese, and I'll be back. Alright, so I did decide that I am going to add some milk. I haven't added the cheddar cheese yet, but I am going to add a little bit of milk to help thin this cream cheese out. And I got my jinky whisk here, so I am just going to stir this. I want to get it back to like the smooth consistency. I am using fat-free milk, but you could use whatever you want, whatever kind of milk you want, or you could even use heavy cream. So yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit more milk, because once you add the cheese, it's going to thicken up even more. And I'm probably just going to season this with some salt and pepper. I did season my water with salt, but yeah. So this is pretty, it's getting a little bit thinner. And if you do make it too thin, when you add your pasta to your sauce, it will thicken it up. So don't worry about it being too thin. If you just let it sit, which I'm going to be letting it sit in my crock pot until dinner time, probably on low or keep warm. So I'm just going to start adding some cheese and letting it melt in there. I would normally use cheddar cheese, but I really wanted a white mac and cheese for dinner tonight. So I'm going to turn this back up to get the cheese going. Getting ready to add my noodles, because that's getting ready to start to boil, and then I'm going to cook the noodles and add the cheese sauce. My sauce to the thickness that I like. It's not too runny, it's not too thick, as you can see. I just turned it down on low until my noodles are done, and those are almost done. So, and then I just added some fresh ground pepper and some salt for taste. It tastes pretty good. So when my noodles are done, I'm going to pour it all in the crock pot and mix it all together. Just keep it on warm until it's dinner time. Also, if it does get too thick in the crock pot after being added to the pasta sauce, later on before dinner, you can just add a little bit more milk to help thin it out. So, I made it a little bit thinner than I like it to normally be, but like I said, you can add milk later, and the pasta will help thicken it up. So, that is all for the macaroni and cheese. I'll show you when I pour it all into the crock pot. Alright, so I got my noodles done. I am going to turn my sauce off, and I am going to just pour it right over the noodles and mix it in. So that looks so good. And when you're draining your noodles, try not to drain them completely, because you want a little bit of water on your noodles to help marry your sauce with your pasta. And I learned that on Rachel Ray. So credit to Rachel Ray. It'll help reduce the thickness of the sauce if you made it too thin. So this is going to be really good. And later on, you know, if you didn't add enough salt or pepper, you can just add more to taste. So I'm really excited to try this for dinner tonight. Me and my son might actually have a bowl of this for lunch, just so I can, you know, adjust the tastes, maybe add some different seasonings or something, but we'll see. So I will be back in a little bit to make the rest of dinner. Bye. Hey everyone, a little update on the macaroni and cheese that I shared earlier on in this video. My son and I did have this for lunch, and I really enjoyed it just the way it was, but as you can see over time, it just got really thick, and it's just really thick. And also, my son did not like the fact that I made white macaroni and cheese. He literally had a fit. He's like, it's white. So what I did earlier to get him to eat it for lunch was I took a piece of American cheese and put it over the top of it and melted it in the microwave and stirred it up, and he loved it. So that's just what I'm going to do because I don't want to fight for dinner time. I've added some milk to this to help get it back to the right thickness that I want, and I'm going to add some American cheese. You could also use some cheddar or anything, but I just have some American cheese on hand, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. It's already starting to get creamy again, so it's just a tip if you guys have picky kids. I don't know if I would go with white. I don't understand why he didn't like it because it was white. He didn't even taste it. But I got my hamburger meat going for my sloppy joes, so I'm going to add the sauce to this when this is all done. And I'm going to add some, I'm just going to add a few at a time to get it melted in there, to get it to where I want it. I'm really upset that he didn't like it because it was white, but I mean, what are you going to do? They're kids. So, yeah, I'm just going to do this, and then I'll show you guys when it's almost done. So, I got my macaroni and cheese all fixed up, and my son's is a little yellower than ours. I just put some American cheese in there, put it in the microwave, stirred it up, so it's yellow. Ours is white. The Joe mix going, it's just on low heat, so it can get cooked through. And then in the oven, I got some Publix bakery buns with some butter on them to let them crisp up a little bit. And that is what's going to be for dinner tonight. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Tonight for dinner I am making meatballs, or meatball subs, and what I have here is just 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of sausage mixed together. I'm making this new recipe on here. I'm not following it exactly, but it calls for, it's not going to focus, 1 pound of ground beef, a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, 1/4 cup of parsley, which I do not have, 1 egg, and 1 clove of garlic. So I don't have the parsley, so instead I opted to use the Italian style breadcrumbs, which has parsley in it, but every time I make meatballs I always use breadcrumbs anyways. And since this is 2 pounds of ground beef, I am going to be using 1 whole cup of Parmesan cheese, and then I'm using half a cup of the breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to put 2 cloves of garlic in here. This mixture, Parmesan cheese and the breadcrumbs. The recipe calls for 1 egg per 1 pound. I'm just going to try it with 1 egg first and see how it goes. So I'm going to take my ring off here. And then I'm just going to get to mixing it. And like I said, I'm only doing 1 egg at one egg at a time. So as I can see already, it's already getting a little dry. So I'm going to add another egg. Meatballs are done. As you can see, I got 24 medium-sized meatballs. They're pretty big. So I'm going to have 12 for dinner tonight, and then I'm going to have 12 to freeze for another dinner at a later date. So I just put my oven on 350 instead of 325, and I'm going to cook them for about 30 minutes, and I'm going to check them. I'm thinking this is probably going to need at least 50 minutes to an hour to cook because they are pretty big size. So I will check back in with you guys when these are finished. My meatballs are out of the oven, and these ones are cooling so that I can put them in a freezer bag and save them for dinner for another night. And then I got my other 12 in my crock pot, and I'm just going to pour half of this Classico marinara in there and let it just go until dinner time on low. So that is what's going to be for dinner. And I'll insert a picture at the end of this clip so you guys can see what the finished product looks like. Bye. I realized that I forgot to show you guys my homemade fries to go with dinner. But this is 5 medium russet potatoes, and I just cut them into fry sizes. And then I just have some olive oil, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and salt in here. And then I'm just going to bake them at 375 until they're nice and crisp. So yes, that's how I make homemade french fries. So I'll probably sprinkle them with more salt later because you know potatoes need a lot of salt. So yes, that is going to be with our dinner, and my meatballs are actually almost cooled off, so I'm going to put those in the freezer.